Banging on a trash can, stomping on the street lights. The Braves won the series. It is Wednesday, folks. I am the Professor John Goddard, the King of R&G, the Troll Master Data Analyzing Ninja, the conqueror of my own fate. The Terminator, no Mind Fräulein Ziklina, and Professor Omega. As well as being the wise man for mine and your tribal chief, always tranquilo, Doc El Idolo. What's going on, man?
That was so weak. It's not even tech worthy. Oh God. Scumbag alert. Scumbag alert. No, I'm doing good, man. Yes, the
Hey,
Braves.
I may have been a scumbag with that, but at least I didn't make a deal with a succubus.
That's what I was about to say. So, Houston and Atlanta, both teams, synonymous for blunders. But you think about it, I mean, the Texans, the Rockets, double. And now the Astros make it to the World Series, but it looks like that contract is over. So I
Yikes.
expect one of those other teams to take a rise up in the next season. But the Georgia curse, we could say, even though the Atlanta Hawks did pretty good in the playoffs, and obviously the Falcons are the ones, being sacrificed in the situation. But um, I mean, Atlanta won. I mean, they easily, obviously, Georgia Bulldogs, Atlanta Falcons. They could have easily blown a lead and gave this one up, but they were able to close it out. But shout out to the Astros for making it amidst a rocky, year.
Which is
Post.
crazy. So many people had the Braves in 6. And by
Yeah,
goodness, they got the Braves in 6.
oh,
It should have been
they
5.
really did. It should have been five. I agree. It should have been five. But congratulations to the Braves. They got it done. Um, and in Atlanta fashion, hopefully they're celebrating, and having a good time there. But we had some
We had,
packed NFL news.
oh, wait, before we go
Uh,
into that, we got to talk about the other big news that happened in the world of college football.
oh God. But you know what? Let's save that for tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's save
We'll
that
do
for
it tomorrow.
tomorrow.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's save college football for tomorrow because I want.
You want to
Yeah,
give it
let's.
its proper time.
Yeah, let's let that marinate for another day, and we'll talk about that one tomorrow. 'Cause it's weird. I won't even comment on it. It's weird,
That's some
but
stir fried tofu right there. It's gonna taste delicious when we start talking
something like that.
about it.
But we had some NFL news. Obviously, we had the trade deadline, which kind of was kind of weak. None of the big names really. Well, most of the big names didn't get traded except for
There
one,
you go.
Von Miller, getting traded from the Broncos to the Rams for two second-day picks. Um, Not sure what the Broncos were thinking. They probably could have got more, but for the Rams, this is a huge get, and they're trying to extend them. So that's huge. And then the Steelers finally did trade Melvin Ingram to the Chiefs. Um, I know he really wanted to go to the Chiefs, but the Steelers didn't want to trade him to an AFC team. I guess they gave in and did send him over. Um, but other than that, I mean, I did see the Texans trade EFL or one of my EFL players, Charles. I think it's Eminu,
Yes, a minute.
um, big EFL star, to the 49ers, which is pretty awesome. But some of the other trades, Daniel Brown going to the Chiefs, tight end. Laurent Duvernay Tardif going to the Jets from the Chiefs guard. I know that the Jets offensive line has been riddled with injuries. And then the Broncos also sent cornerback Kerry Vincent Jr. to the Eagles. So nothing major happened via trade. We did have the DeSean Jackson waive. The Steelers did release newly. No, was it the Packers?
The
The Packers
Packers
released
released.
Jalen Smith,
Yep,
which is nuts. Being that they just signed him, and
a month ago.
yeah, I expected him to kind of fill in, and but I wonder what team's gonna pick him up. I mean,
The Bucks.
you think so? I don't think so. You really think so? Please tell me how you feel. You really think so?
Yeah, I think so.
You you think they would? I mean, I don't know because you know me,
It's the second that they really need help with, but
you know me. I mean, I wouldn't be against this. I wouldn't be against this
honestly,
at all.
like, to not make it sound cliche,
Mhm.
I think he could give the Vikings a good boost.
I mean, he can give a lot of people a good boost. I mean, when I look around the league, I mean, some of the teams at the bottom, not even just at the
No,
bottom. I
I'm
mean, I
looking
would
at
say the bottom.
like that midpoint, like in the middle of the pack, that can make a pretty good run with an upgrade in defense with Jalen Smith's talent.
Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys did the right thing, though. I could say. I mean, they had some great players. Obviously, the rookie that they have, and then Keanu Neal filling in. So we'll see. I'm interested to see where he goes. I'm pretty sure he's not done. I think he'll get another shot. Uh, but they needed a spot, so here it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the Bucks. I could see a team. I could see the Steelers. I could see those defensive teams like the Ravens. The Ravens always picking up people. The Lions could take them because they released Collins.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see what happens, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of the news. We got Aaron Rodgers news.
Yes. It was just announced about half an hour ago, actually,
Uh huh.
um, that he is out Sunday because he tested positive for COVID.
So I wonder how this will affect his QB rating now. And then I don't want you to say I told you they was going to drop now because there's a whole different information now. Now he's got COVID, so he might, he should stay. He should stay par.
His QB index ranking should actually increase, and his positive COVID testing that should impact next week index. Unfortunately, people are too much victims of the now, and they place that into it. Like I've seen people put up their power rankings yesterday
Mm-hmm.
and drop the Titans so far, even though they won the game,
Gotcha.
because of Derrick Henry's injury. So I feel like the QB index, when we talk about it, it's gonna get impacted based off of what's happening now instead of what occurred Thursday.
I gotcha.
Last Thursday, folks, not
Last,
yeah.
now I
Yeah.
know they should know what you mean. Um, that's also another thing. I mean, people are going crazy. Obviously, Adrian Peterson did officially join the Titans. But let's not overlook Jeremy McNichols in that situation. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, Adrian Peterson's gonna, go back to 2,000 yards," but
No, people
they
are taking
really,
things way
yeah,
too far. Like, come on, folks, don't turn into the NBA with all this stupidity.
yeah. Um,
And yes, I am calling out the NBA because their media coverage is absolute garbage. Except for
boom.
Ernie Johnson, we are
Yes,
sending our condolences to him and his family, though.
please. But in other news, we had this weird Henry Ruggs DUI
It's
accident.
not a weird one.
It's random. You don't think it's random?
Yes. Uh, no,
Come
it pretty
on.
much happened instantly. Honestly,
What?
the actual accident occurred on Tuesday,
Yes.
and he was arrested
Immediately.
pretty much immediately. And then
Mhm.
the Raiders released him later on that night.
That's so crazy. That's the crazy. I mean, no, I guess it's crazy to me, not the fact that
Because
it happened.
normally it'll take like a week, maybe a
Yeah.
month,
But
maybe
it's a
like towards the end
DUI.
of
It's
the
different.
year.
It's
Like
different.
this was
Way different. Yeah.
instant.
I'm curious to know though. I mean, driving under the influence could mean anything these days. Because in the article, it was like, oh, he seemed to be under the influence, but it didn't say under the influence of like
It doesn't
alcohol
matter.
or.
It
But
doesn't matter. What
it
it
could
is
matter.
negligible.
It no no. It could
And I
be
only say that because right now they put it out there like that, so the court of public opinions, which of course everyone really cares about, is only
right, but
making
that's the
judgment.
But that's the thing, and it's like that's why me as a person who doesn't just make judgments based on what the news things say. It's like let's say he took something that his body could be allergic to, because like I remember taking a non-drowsy pill and getting drowsy. So like it happens. So that's why I would want to know like is it alcohol? Is it if it was like marijuana or something, then it's like okay, yeah, cut him immediately. But I want all the details before we go out just saying, "Hey, yeah, this guy's a terrible person." I know you're shaking your head, but
Oh no,
I know
I
that's
agree.
not. I know that's not
I'm agreeing with you, but
because you remember.
perception
You remember
is
Dante
so quick.
Stallworth hit that person years ago,
I remember.
and I don't remember if he was under the influence or not. But I mean, it cleared, and then he wound up playing like the next season. So that's the only reason I say that. It's like it doesn't mention him being, like usually it's like, oh, they pulled him over, they did a breathalyzer. His breathalyzer was at whatever point, whatever. But this just says he showed signs of impairment, and
Yep.
that's like that could be anything. Like that could be anything. So that was the only part that I found a bit strange that the Raiders would release him so early, unless they got more information than we did, of course.
And
Which
I mean, unfortunately, until more information comes out, that's all we can do. And that's what I was talking about, how quickly the public can judge.
mhm. And the way they wrote this article, it's like, oh, Henry Ruggs, him being 22 and his 22-year-old passenger were transferred to a local hospital to be treated for non-life threatening injuries. Um, I don't know. It says he's being charged with, the death DUI resulting in the death of another person, reckless driving,
I thought that was for
um,
vehicular manslaughter.
DUI. That's what it says here. DUI resulting in the death of a person. So it's a DUI, and then because of the DUI, it most likely becomes manslaughter because a person died due to the DUI. It becomes a felony because someone died during that misdemeanor,
Yes.
which is pretty dumb for him, but it is what it is. Again, 22 years old. You've been, like I said, if it's something alcohol or drug related, that's dumb. But if it's something that's like, oh man, like I took something that I shouldn't have or whatever, then that's something different. But
Exactly.
the 12th overall pick has been released, as John Gotti has said. So we'll see how that story plays out. It stinks because he's young guy, just got to the league last year from Alabama, and now his career could potentially be over.
Over.
But
Speaking of
oh,
over, in other news, because there's a lot of news that happened in the past 48 hours.
yep, yep.
Also, breaking news today: Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas out the rest of the season.
With an ankle injury, and I just feel like this is over. The
Yeah,
Saints need to figure out a way to move on. I think he thinks he's better than he really is. Like he's a good receiver, but I don't think he's as good as he he thinks he is. I think Drew Brees had a lot to do with his development as a wide receiver, and he unfortunately isn't getting an opportunity to show that. Um, right now, he's kind of just falling into that. Oh my God, I need Drew to be successful because he has not been successful without Drew so far.
Well, you mean he hasn't played this season either.
He
I
did
mean,
play. He did play. He did play.
it really didn't feel like he played.
It didn't. I know that I can agree with. It
Like it
didn't.
really doesn't feel like he played at all this
Yeah,
season.
yeah, no, he definitely played. I
Like
don't.
I really feel bad for the people who picked him up on their fantasy team during the draft. Like,
I assume they skipped that. I'm
oh, I
assuming they
mean,
skipped.
heck, with the Derrick Henry injury, like it's absolute bedlam in
Yeah, that's
fantasy.
something. Yeah, that's something different. That I would say, yeah, y- y- yeah. That one's pretty tough, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, fantasy is just one of those things that you have to live with. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is a situation where we'll have to wait and see what happens next with that situation as well. I thought they should have traded for OBJ or traded for somebody else.
Yep.
I know that the Patriots wide receiver was a little perturbed by his situation. I can't think of his name at the time. I know my brother had him on EFL, another EFL standout. Not Traquan Smith, obviously,
No, it's not Traquan.
but those EFL players, man, they just stand out like a sore thumb, man. I might have to bring
Okay,
it back.
getting more news from Adam Schefter. Aaron Rodgers can potentially come back according to protocols on the 13th. So next Saturday
That doesn't
is
make
when
any
he's
sense.
eligible to come back.
Oh, I guess that's what. I guess whatever.
That's based off the NFL NFLPA agreement.
Yeah. Well, last news that I have here: Russell Wilson posts videos of himself throwing a day after the pin was removed from his hand. I personally don't think he should play this season.
I
Um,
I been said that actually. I did say that after it
yeah,
first happened. I'm like, I think they should just.
yeah. I mean, do they have a shot? Let's check the playoff picture here really quickly. I'm curious if they even have like a remote chance. I guess they. I mean, they're 12th. They're 3-5. I mean, I guess they have a remote chance.
And the person
This
that
is
you're talking about is Keneal Harry, by
that's it. Nikhil. Yeah, yeah, Nikhil Harry. Yep.
the
What did you just say?
way. Nikhil Harry.
It sounded like you said Kadil Harry, but it's
No.
fine. Well, either way, it's fine. Seahawks have a bye this week, so that's good for Russell Wilson. I mean, they have a shot. I guess they have a shot. They have a shot to make it. So I guess if he can
Yeah,
come back in 2 weeks, I guess we'll see what happens. But Johnny, we
absolutely. I mean,
finally
and somewhere within there, we had a Monday night football game, and a thing
it was,
happened apparently. So we're gonna get
it was
straight to power
embarrassing.
rankings.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. It was just an embar. It was probably one of the worst. I mean, it was a good game, but for the
No
Chiefs,
one. You want me to tell you why no one liked that game, Doc? I'll tell you why people didn't like that game. They didn't like the game because the Chiefs weren't the Chiefs of old.
yeah. You know what I was thinking about the other day, and then we can go to the power rankings. That I feel like the fact that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes were on the Madden cover, the Madden curse is kind of like confused who to go after. So it's like right now it's targeting, you know, uh, Mahomes, but then like certain points of the game, it gets Brady. Like he'll throw 6 incomplete passes, right?
I totally
And
forgot about the Madden curse. I
yeah,
that
like
would explain a lot. But normally
yeah,
the
it's a lot.
Madden curse would be like the person get injured and things like that,
Usually
but
or a bad. No, it's either injured or a bad
or
season.
a really really bad season. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll be happy with number one on the power rankings.
I mean they were number three. No, they were number six
No, they
last
were number
last week,
six.
which I said they should actually be number five. But then because they beat an undefeated team, they got
Right.
absolutely catapulted,
Right.
which is
So,
insane.
are you okay with this now? Are you all right?
I
Do you feel like
mean,
they're making up
I feel
because
like this is I
they
feel like
finally made up.
you want me to tell you why they're making it up? Because I didn't see anything about week one.
Exactly. As I'm saying, so they finally made up for week one's loss. And then the Cowboys moved up. Um, I mean, I guess that win over Minnesota was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good
Um,
without
I
Dak
don't know about
Prescott.
moving right, so that's why they moved up because they won it without Dacky. Number three, which is good, only falling two slots. The Arizona Cardinals. That was a tough loss. It didn't look good
Nope.
at all. But two slots is good. Yeah, two slots is good.
Yeah, like
Um,
you can't torture them. Like this is like in college, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. Like you have the number one and the number three in the AP poll going against each other, and the number one loses. Like you don't
mhm,
ship them all the way down to like the 10th slot.
right, right. Then we have the number 14, the Buffalo Bills, moving down one slot from number three. Obviously, they lost prime time to the Titans, and then
Yeah, but
had
that was
the
in
26.
week 6.
Still, it still counts. They're still counting it, right? The painful loss, prime time to the Titans. This is what it says here. And then they came back and beat the Dolphins 26-11. Um, I mean, it wasn't a blowout like we've been seeing, but
No, but they pulled it away when they needed to.
right. So I
Like
mean, they dropped one slot because you had to put, you know, the Cowboys and the Packers up, um, which also brings me to the number five team who deserves to be here, maybe even lower.
ooh, Ducks ain't
Uh,
lower.
I think they should be out of the top 10 the way they've been playing. Scrubs, man, scrubbineers,
Penalties, bad
bums,
defense.
bums,
Doc is
anything else.
just Doc is just ecstatic because he's allowed to say this
That's right. And it's like you already got
without
the text
any
for it too.
technicals.
You already got the text for it too, so it was perfect. Yeah, because I mean, you said I couldn't say it if it wasn't true. I mean, you
and
know dang well
and
it's true.
and I have not threatened you yet with a technical about it,
You
so
shouldn't.
we're good.
But no, I mean, Tom Brady threw a pick six in the fourth quarter. It was
Yeah,
pretty embarrassing. I
it was just
mean,
a bad game, and just the penalties really killed your team.
yeah, it's all good. Number six, who I expect to move up in top five after getting Von Miller. We got the Los Angeles
I'm
Rams.
still in a wait and see because I feel like we
No,
start making all these decorations. It's too
no, I'm making a
soon.
declaration. I'm making a declaration.
Okay.
Number seven, we have the Baltimore
Would you
Ravens.
like to put another 10 5-gallon things of water on that? If you're right, I'll just send you 10 more of those.
Moving on to the Baltimore Ravens, number eight previously, or number seven previously. They were number eight. They had a bye week, but somehow moved up a slot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of weird, but
Yeah.
so the New Orleans Saints
And
moved up
remember,
four
that was after
slots.
they got spanked, by the way,
Right,
and they still went up a
right.
slot.
So somebody must have dropped. We'll look and see. Somebody must have dropped. New Orleans Saints move up four slots from number 12 after
Yeah,
beating the
I
Buffalo
know who
Bills.
went down. We'll get there.
Titans move up one slot. Um, Obviously, they lose Derrick Henry, and that's going to be a major blow. Like I said, I think should be fine, and then you bring in Adrian Peterson to kind of help him along the way. I think that should be okay, but I have to wait and see if they can do this.
Yep.
The Raiders, who are plagued with media coverage, after Gruden, now Ruggs. All right, number 10. Um, man, I don't know what's going on
I
in Las
mean,
Vegas.
they could potentially have another winnable game against the Giants this week. But then they
I don't
have
know
the
anymore.
Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Cowboys, which
I don't
honestly
know.
is more of the Bengals and the Cowboys.
Depends on if the Giants show. The Giants show up and play. Even the way they played against the Chiefs, I think it'll be fine against the
I
Raiders.
don't know if we can make that comparison for this season.
And I
I don't
guess
know
the
if we can
team
make that
that
comparison.
dropped, that had the biggest drop here, were the Cincinnati Bengals, who got shredded
Yeah,
by
they
Mike White.
yeah, that's I'll say this. I kind of felt like that should have happened to Alabama when they lost to an unranked team, but that's just me. But
They
yeah,
did though.
they
I mean, you
deserve
think
to
about
win.
it, they did. It did. They went down 4 slots. So now it's like they went down 4 slots. They went from 1 to 5.
Uh,
So that's what they did. They went
I
from
just,
7
I
to
just,
11.
it's apropos. It's apropos that both Cincinnati football teams went down.
So the Wildcats didn't. I think it's the Wildcats, isn't it?
They're number 6 on the playoff ranking.
Cincin- Cincinnati is the Wildcats, Bearcats,
Bearcats.
Bearcats, Bearcats. They didn't deserve that though. They did not deserve that. But again, the Bengals lost to. I've never heard of Mike White. Um, Now New York media, of course,
Of
is going
course.
on a frenzy,
Of
right? Do we
course. Well, I mean, it
we
is New York.
we stick with
Yeah.
the third
The
year vet
same
from last
market, that sat there and talked about the Knicks doing the whole bing bong thing, and
right?
then we lost, and now I don't hear a single bing bong.
Do they stick with the Weston Kentucky product third year in the league? I mean, it's probably too soon. I
It's too
mean,
soon to
but
say. I feel
honestly,
like that game was an anomaly.
this is a good first game because you think about it. I mean, that Cincinnati Bengals defense is really good.
Hmm.
So, and hey, this gets the Jets from the bottom. They were number 31, 30, hanging around that 31,
Yeah.
32 for a while. Thankfully, there's an 0-8 team and a 1-17 that just don't look good. The Jets are 2-5. They still have a chance to turn the season around. I would hate for Mike White to overthrow Zach Wilson because obviously he was the top pick of the draft, and that kind of would be the New York thing to do. But if Mike White is your guy, what do you do, John Gotti?
I think it's too soon to say. I'm gonna need more data behind that before making any determination. After one game, it's too soon.
But as a coach, especially a first year coach, you have to think about these things. Like
Well,
this
yeah,
is
as a
rough.
coach, but that's not our job to do that. our
That's what
our
I'm
job
saying.
is
Like if you
to
were,
is
that's what
to
I'm saying.
make
If you were Robert Salah, like I mean, and Mike White comes in and he's like giving you that Drew Bledsoe to Tom Brady vibe.
well, I mean, they don't really have much of a choice because Zach Wilson is hurt. So
The Patriots didn't have a choice because Drew Bledsoe was hurt. But when Drew comes
I
back,
mean, if Mike White has a heck of a season the rest of the year,
it's not the rest
then
of the year. It's until that's what I'm saying. Like, like, hey, Zach Wilson's out. Let's say Zach Wilson's out 3 weeks.
Zach Wilson's out for the season, isn't he?
No, I think they said he has a chance to come back based on what I was just reading.
No, they said that he was out for the season.
No, it says he could return. I don't know because I mean they can always remove him from IR. They put him on IR because right now they're saying when Zach Wilson return, would he be returning to starting lineup when healthy? That's what they're saying. It's just shiny. Yeah, that's what it's saying. But I mean, we can wait till that. Like I said, wait till we cross that bridge. But I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to not only hear this episode, but all the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over more college football and NFL news. And you'll be here to hear about the news, the analysis, and of course, the reads.